beep, 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 beep. How you doing, peeps? Right. Okay. What's going on? What's going on? Now, you may have not yet seen it, and if you haven't, go and have a look and find the Gay Men's Network's response to Cass. Tremendous stuff from our Dennis and varied other people that help him out, right? That's good. Now, I imagine that both Dennis and Clive will be covering that on the Queen's speech, and you will have seen Bev appeared along with Sarah Fillimore on GB News, so it's all quite exciting, it's all quite happening. And what I've done in the last few days of my youth, as my decade is about to end, and I'm about to have a big birthday on Thursday, 60th. Good God Almighty. I don't think I'll scrub up too bad, though. I'll get close. What do you reckon? Who cares, right? I gave up caring many years ago, and I don't care now. However, what I do care about is that we are safeguarding children, as we now have the cash report that illustrates that they have been predated upon. They haven't simply been experimented on, which is bad enough in its own right. They've been predated upon by organisations, businesses and individuals who have promoted gender identity, ideology and queer theory, and have done so, in some cases, in full cognizance of the fact that it's all utter garbage, untrue, an entire belief system based on lies, which led to the medical experimentation on over 9,000 children and young people in the UK alone, the vast majority of whom are gay or lesbian. That's what I'm leaving my 59th year with. So I thought, well, I can't just leave it at that. You know, I need to do something before I go away for a few days and you won't see me. Not on YouTube, I'll be on Twitter and other places. You know, if I've got anything to say, I'll put it on there, but in terms of the YouTubes, we're done for a little bit. So I've today started a part of a process. I've written to the Manchester Council, Bev Craig, John Connor Lyons. I've CC'd in Andy Burnley, Kemi Badenoch, Claire Fox, a few others. There's some questions I want answered. I'm asking for a moratorium on Manchester Pride while we carry out a safeguarding investigation into their involvement in this scandal, along with the LGBT Foundation and any other organisation that I deem fit. In addition to that, I've also asked for the abandonment of the Sparkle festival, which is meant to be a transgender festival. We simply can't have it. It's synonymous now with child endangerment, and we simply can't have it, along with the removal of the removal of planning from an intended statue to Trans Joy in Sackville Park, sat right next to Alan Turin, who was castrated with the same class of chemicals as they've been giving to gay and lesbian children to convert them under Gay Conversion Therapy 2.0, trans in the gay away. So I wrote to them. Then I've written to the Manchester Council safeguarding team to ensure that they're involved, because I imagine they'll be very interested in ensuring that Manchester Pride and other charities aren't actively causing harm to children or encouraging children into harmful beliefs that will then lead to their medicalisation and sterilisation. So I've also caught them in. And I thought I'm going to start on the employers as soon as I can, but I picked one because of its importance. Manchester United Football Club is one of the greatest assets to Manchester and the North West. It is a huge undertaking. It brings enormous amounts of money into the city, and it also brings enormous amounts of joy to the people who live here in Manchester and further afield. So I've written to them asking them to cease and desist all activities in regards to LGBT or any of the acronyms made up of that nonsense until we are able to ascertain whether there is a safeguarding issue there. So I've written to their safeguarding team as well. This is the approach that I recommend you take at this point forward. This is a safeguarding issue. So I'm expecting a moratorium on Manchester Pride, the abandonment of Sparkle, the abandonment of this ridiculous statue to child experimentation, and for Manchester United to lead in the employer rankings in terms of halting their LGBT activity until they can ensure that they've got no gender identity ideologues or queer theorists in there doing harm to actual gay and lesbian people rather than the LGBT cult. So that's what I've done, right? Because, I'm still sod here. Let's go get them, right? So I'll let you know what happens with that. But obviously I'm going to be off for a few days. So here's what I've got. Right now, my Jesterites. Hello, you lot. My Jesterites, right? What I try and do is find quirky stuff that I haven't put together myself, but I'll usually give an introduction to. But I haven't put it together myself. But I put it up and go, have you seen this, right? Because I run it through the copyright machine at YouTube and it'll say, you can't monetize it, but you're more than happy to show it. They're more than happy for me to show it. So I've got a couple of those, right? So over the next 4 days, possibly, depending on how happy my 60th birthday is at the zoo, the next 4 days or 5 days, I'm going to release those. Okay, so that you can see what some of the Jesterite stuff is that they get. And I hope the Jesterites won't mind. I'm sure they won't. And then I shall be back in full force after my 60th birthday. 60, can you believe? So if you want to help me out, come be a warrior teacher. If you want to help me out, come be a jesterite. Buy me a coffee. Come and be a jesterite. That's the easiest one. Come and be a jesterite. Then you get stuff up front and other little interesting things that I find as well that generally don't go public. So I'm going to make these public so you can get an idea. That's it. Is there anything else I want to say? Oh, let's get rid of bloody Ruth Hunt, right? And stop talking to these nutters online, right? There's nothing they've got to say to us anymore. Did you see what's his name? Robin Moira Flange. Not Flange. Robin Moira White. Did you see? With his presentation. If you could show the next slide, please. Yeah, what does this show? Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And Dennis on fine form on GB News. Absolutely marvellous. So I'm going to say goodbye. And I should do it in the style of Julie Andrews. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. I flit, I fart, I flee, 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 I fly. I'll see you after my birthday. Keep fighting, folks. Bye all.